Welcome to another episode of the Bethesda Brothers podcast. I am the KingFanMan, joined as always with my partner in crime, Joey Caps Gaming, or as I call him, Brother Joe. How you doing, Brother Joe?
I am King. I'm excited, King. I am excited. It's here.
The gaming world is literally on fire.
Yes.
I think the hype is bigger for Starfield than it was for Fallout 4, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, but it's true.
Obviously, a lot going on with Starfield. I mean, we're days away from the release of Starfield, and we're going to be talking about it a lot today. We're going to get into some of the interviews that went on at Gamescom, some of the things that Pete Hines said, Phil Spencer said, Todd Howard said. But the overall theme of what we're going to talk about today is that both Bethesda and Xbox desperately need Starfield to be not just a hit, not just a game of the year. They need a game of the decade. They need a masterpiece here, both companies. And let me set it up and tell you why. Number one, Bethesda. Bethesda, obviously, with what happened with Fallout 76, with the launch and the things that happened there, I know that wasn't Maryland, I know that was Austin, but still, it sticks to them. And even Fallout 4, there was some Fallout from some of the decisions they made with Fallout 4. They really went from a company that could do no wrong after the making of Skyrim to a company that could do no right after Fallout 76. So they desperately need this to be a masterpiece. Xbox also needs it as well. And I'll talk about Xbox in just a minute. But what do you think about Bethesda needing this to be a masterpiece?
Of course they do, King. I mean, you could look back to, listen, I loved Fallout 4. I did. One of my favorite games. But so many people, they say it all the time. They say that Fallout 4 wasn't your typical Fallout game. And, I guess I could agree. The voice, your character having actual voice this time, it didn't fly over well with many others. The skills to level up your guy really wasn't as great as it was in years past. And then with 76, just the launch of that game, it was horrible for them. Like, for them, it was bad. Yeah. So now all of a sudden you're getting this brand new IP, this brand new franchise that nobody knows. We don't know anything about it. The only things we know is what they have told us. And from what we're hearing now, there's a lot of content in this game. This game is freaking huge. And I honestly think that it's going to be one of, if not their greatest RPG that they've ever made, that Bethesda Game Studios has ever made. I'm talking better than Morrowind, Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim. I'm talking better than all those games. I think Starfield has the potential to be the best RPG that they've ever made. That's just my opinion, though. I'm just a guy who's screaming into a microphone.
Well, I honestly think that Bethesda believes that. I think Phil Spencer believes that too. And we're going to get to that. Yeah. But you can just see it in the interviews that they believe that. Pete Hines said, there's few times in your career that you know something special is happening. And he said, I told my team something special is happening right now. He went through the Skyrim thing, so he went through something special. Well, I think he knows when something special is happening. Very quick on Fallout 4, and I agreed with everything you said about Fallout 4. They've gone the opposite way with Starfield. They've gone back. I've heard Oblivion over and over and over and over and over.
Me too.
And I know a lot of our audience probably hasn't played Oblivion, but it's a much deeper RPG. You have a lot more freedom over your character, a lot more choices, and I think that's great. I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised. They may be overwhelmed at first. I hope reviewers aren't overwhelmed when they're playing this game. I have heard from a lot of the interviewers that it takes 30 minutes to an hour to really get the game going because you're learning it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much to learn in it.
Yeah, but I also saw actually the opposite. It's not as long as we think.
The
I
story
saw
itself.
someone say,
Yep.
like, no, like the introduction, like the beginning of the game. It's like it's not as long as we think it's
Right.
going to be.
Right.
Like, of course, we have to learn the game and all that stuff, but it's not as long as we think, which that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine there. It's crazy. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes because I know we have other things that we're talking about in this episode, but just some of the things that Pete Hines said.
We go ahead. We can get into it. It's
yeah,
fine.
he mentioned that he spent 80 hours playing this game. Spent 80 hours. Todd Howard then proceeds to ask him and say, "Hey, bro, how did you enjoy the main quest?" Pete Hines then says, "I never even touched the main quest yet." He had 80 hours and didn't even touch the main quest.
Yeah.
And then he spent 50 to 60 hours up to play the main quest, and then he said that's when the game actually began, after he completed the main quest
story. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but it excites me. I can't even conjure up what that means, but hey, it makes me super excited for this game, even more excited than I already was.
Yes.
King. So
yeah, every one of them, Phil, Todd, Pete, every one of the interviewers that's been able to play it, you could just see the excitement boiling off of them with this game. It's not just the normal, yeah, the game's good, buy our game. I mean, you could see the excitement on them. Well, let's talk about with that then. The hype is there, but what about the marketing of this game? We're talking about this game needing to be a hit, needing to be bigger than Skyrim. Let's just say it is the game that they're telling us it is. Do you think? And by the way, I love the live trailer. Man,
yeah,
great job. I always love the live action one from Skyrim.
Skyrim, yeah, and the Fallout 4 one too.
Oh, I love
that one. Was awesome.
That was awesome. Do you think they've done enough marketing with Starfield? See, I think they could have done more. I think if they would have done it all year, I think people are. I know this is the way Todd likes it. I know he wants it right down at the end, but could it have built hype even more if they would have, since the direct, been just slowly giving us stuff?
I think they did enough.
Do you think so?
And here's why. They literally have social media hyping it up for them. It was so smart for them to, because they obviously, number one, they know that the game is going to be a hit, but number two, they literally sent out review codes to people 2 weeks before launch. That means you have the utmost confidence in this game.
Absolutely.
Right? So being that, just now all of a sudden everybody are getting these codes, and it's just exciting people more and more. It's like, oh my gosh, like it went gold. People and also too, they also have the reputation of Skyrim to fall back on as well, to do the marketing for them. Fallout to do the marketing for them. So King, and honestly too, I have Game Pass. I pre-ordered the premium edition on Game Pass. I think it was like $34. I was like, do you know what? Forget it. I'm pre-ordering it so I could play it 6 days or 5 days early. So, and I bet you they're making a bunch of money just from people doing that. Because technically it's half of the standard edition. So if you have Game Pass and you're already paying that, you could just pay 30-something bucks to play it 5 days early, and you get the first wave of DLC.
That's right.
So they don't. The social media is creating the hype for them. They don't need to do it. Honestly,
people like us won't shut up about it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So
you hit on what the next thing I was going to ask about. Is Game Pass going to hurt this game? Because obviously the sales is going to be different in this game because of Game Pass. Now, I know we can track who's playing the game through Game Pass. Is that how? I mean, we're in a new generation. Is that how we're going to do it now?
Yeah, yeah. See, King. Like I said earlier, it's. I bet you there will be so many people because of the amount of hype that's around this game. There's going to be so many people that are going to want to get their hands on it early. So the Game Pass people, like myself, we're already paying monthly for that. So I get access to Starfield on September 6th. But if I pay the extra $30, which is nothing this day and age, right, for a video game, if I could pay $30 to not only play it on August 31st at 8 p.m., but also get the DLC when it comes out, maybe in 6 months or something, I get access to that too. It's like that. It's a no-brainer. I honestly think it's going to help them because people are going to shell out the money to pay for that $30 upgrade.
That's right.
Honestly, that's what they have to go off of. Like, it's people are going to shell out money to just pay $30 for that upgrade. It's brilliant, honestly, brilliant.
Well, and that you're doing great on the leading me into things. Xbox also needs this to be a massive hit.
Yeah.
They've had some terrible things happen to them lately. Not only have they had bad games like Redfall, terrible exclusive game, obviously, terrible launch. They've just had some misses on games. And then they've just gone time without exclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, for long periods of time.
Yeah.
But we were talking about just before the podcast, and you agreed with me. This is probably, and I'd love to hear in the comments what everybody else thinks. I believe this is the biggest exclusive launch for Xbox ever with Starfield.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the biggest since probably since
Gears 1.
The first ever Gears game, and then if you want to go back even further, Halo. When that first came out, like that, it's the biggest. I think this is, especially when you're attaching Bethesda Game Studios to it.
How many Xboxes is Starfield going to sell?
It's King. It's people they're already buying Series S's because the Series S is affordable, so they're already buying them. Them because of Starfield. So obviously people are buying Series X's too, but the Series S's, man, it makes it brilliant that they made it $300 because it's inexpensive for a console and you can play Starfield that way.
Yeah.
So whether you want to talk down about the Series S or not, it's a great option for affordable gaming, if you will.
Yes.
So, it's brilliant. Everything they're doing is right, honestly. They're
Joe,
doing everything
think about it. If it comes out, and there's a lot of people kind of sitting back and waiting. If it comes out and it is a massive hit, then how many Xboxes is it going to sell?
They're just going to sell more.
Yeah.
People, if it's a massive hit, people with Series S's are going to want to upgrade to Series X. And then all of a sudden, they upgrade to a superior system, and that's another $500. Microsoft, Xbox, they know what they're doing with this, and they're going to make a bunch of money. You literally have one of the greatest studios in the RPG genre at your disposal in BGS. That's what you have, For the first time
ever, Xbox has made a wrap for the Xbox for a game studio for a game.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it is. It's awesome. So it's just King. This is going to be great.
By the way, just a personal question: Are you happening to get the controller or the headset, anything like that?
No. My wife gave me the okay to get the controller. I pre-ordered it. Then I was like, I have to be responsible, so I canceled it. And then I'm kicking myself in the butt because it's like, you can't buy it anywhere now.
I know.
So I'm a little mad. I think I saw it on BestBuy.com though, or Walmart.
Yeah, they're getting some more of them.
So I think I'm gonna buy it as we're talking there right now.
Well, just finish the podcast and then you can buy it. Oh man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about what's coming out of Gamescom right now? So much has come out. Things that Todd Howard saying that Pete Hines has really been talking up the game at Gamescom. Phil Spencer as well. Any of those interviews you want to mention before we move on to the end of the podcast?
Yeah, like I said, with what Pete Hines said, how can that not excite you? Right? That the
One thing, real quick, while you're thinking.
Yeah, go
One
ahead.
thing he said, of course, mods are going to come. I did want to mention there is a new, what's it called? Plus. There's going to be a new mode in the game that after you finish the game, you can restart the
New game plus. Yeah.
New game plus. All the features are not told to us yet, but I'm excited to see what that's going to be. He talked about modding, that modders will be able to add whole planets.
Oh man.
I mean, just
yeah, see, King, as people who create content, like for myself, I've made the commitment that I'm covering mods, right? That's what I'm doing. I should have done it with Fallout 4. I did a tiny bit and it did well. So I'm going to cover the heck out of mods and upgrade the updates too for Starfield, DLC, the speculation, all that fun stuff too.
Starfield is a modder's dream.
Yeah, if I had hair, I'd pull it out just out of sheer excitement. My belly's starting to rumble because of how excited I am.
Is that what happened to your hair?
Yeah, I pulled it out when Fallout 3 came out back in 2008.
Well, I made a video, shameless plug, on Starfield just the other day, and this was how I ended it, and I'm even feeling stronger about this. Let me make this statement and see what you think, and it goes with what we're talking about. I truly believe that Starfield has the capacity and will be a bigger hit than Skyrim. And stop before you just think about that statement. Skyrim was a game industry changing game. It changed the game industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. We wouldn't have Breath of the Wild. We wouldn't have The Witcher 3. We would not have these games had it not been for Skyrim.
Yeah. That's one heck of a statement.
It will either be a bigger hit than Skyrim or it will be a failure. I don't see an in between though.
Yeah, there is no in between. There isn't. With Fallout 4, that was either a masterpiece or a failure. Many people thought it was a failure in the very beginning. So with BGS, it's either or. And with 76, it wasn't an okay online game. It was a horrible Fallout game. That's what a lot of people felt. That's how they felt.
But this is even bigger. You're
100. No. To your point, you're 100% right, and I agree. But I think it's going to be, enormous for them. It's going to be a positive game for Xbox, for Bethesda, and if it came out a year ago like it was supposed to, I think maybe it would have backfired, but they knew, hey, let's just take an extra 10 months.
Let's get it right.
And let's get this right. And that's what they did. And they got it right. Like we said earlier, they sent out codes 2 weeks in advance to creators.
They believe in it.
And you don't do that unless you actually believe in this. And they believe in it. They do. So, and how Pete Hines just talks about it, Todd Howard, how he talks about it. This is going to be amazing. And it won't be a failure.
Just a few of the little details really quick. The way they talk about companions interacting with you. I mean, the depth that they've talked about companions. There's 20, I believe, companions. I know the full 20 is not as in depth, but from what I'm hearing about the companions, those especially the romanceable ones, they are so much more interacting with you than ever before. Think about the amount of factions that they've just told us about and I believe there's more in the game. And it appears there's going to be, not just appears, we know there's actually going to be undercover stuff that you can do. And, some of the stuff that I have loved from every Bethesda game and even Obsidian game, like Fallout New Vegas. I love the faction stuff from Fallout New Vegas. Yep. All of that, it seems like, is coming into one game. Is this the perfect, as Maddie got in trouble for, is this the perfect game? You remember his statement. Is this what they're bringing together?
I think, like I said earlier, you could quote me on this at a later date if I'm wrong, but this will be the best Bethesda Game Studios RPG ever. It will be.
It's either that or a flop. I don't see how
it's going to be the greatest ever. The way how people made their games, when they gained that inspiration from Skyrim, like you said, the Zelda games, The Witcher, they're gonna do the same thing with Starfield. I guarantee you, when they make new Mass Effect games, that they're going to take inspiration from what Starfield is.
Absolutely.
Like, and maybe another No Man's Sky game, they're going to do the same.
An open world game that literally has 1,000 planets. That's not just, I'm not going to say any more until I get in the game, but wow.
Yeah, it's going to be great, King. It's going to be great. We're going to have so much content, to talk about over these next couple years. So
I've already got more right now than I can make videos on. So
Joe, I hear you.
Thank you for joining me. By the way, guys, if you have not subscribed to Joey Caps Gaming, please go down and do that right now. He would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it too. He also has a baseball channel called The Shift. That link will be down in the description below as well. Brother Joe, I love you. Thank you for joining me as always. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, King. I love you too, brother. Thank you.
And if y'all hadn't subscribed to me by now, what are you doing? Go ahead and do that too. We are the Bethesda Brothers. Starfield, just right around the corner. We will see y'all in the Starfield. Bye, guys.